With the 100 well underway, the Royal London Cup almost at the halfway stage, and day one of what should be a fantastic day in the cricketing calendar, the first day of the Lord's Test, England against India, no less. But the shine has taken off the occasion in many respects. And a good article I read this week in the Cricketer magazine, cricketer.com, by our good friend Huw Turbervill, shone a light on the possible current state and future of England cricket. So I'm very pleased to say joining us to discuss the issue is Mr. Huw Turbervill. Huw, morning to you.
Morning.
So red ball cricket, I think we all agree, is the pinnacle of the game, the traditional form of the game, but is being treated like a little bit of a tape ball on a Bombay dust bowl at the moment, would you say?
Yeah, the competing attractions of the 100 and the Blast really are just nudging out red ball cricket, aren't they, from the summer calendar. The critics of red ball cricket, or the defenders of white ball cricket, say, well, we did have 2 rounds of championship in July, but really it's not enough. I mean, it is a bigger picture, isn't it? I mean, the techniques of the England top order are not just down to the lack of red ball cricket in July and August, but it's you certainly can't. You've got to have some red ball cricket to prepare for a Test series, haven't you? And watching Joss Buttler in the first innings at Trent Bridge was painful, wasn't it? Starved of red ball cricket, and you know, he just looked malnourished, didn't he? I mean, I felt desperately sorry for him, actually.
People might argue that ahead of the New Zealand series earlier in the summer, players were given a run in the county championship with the same result.
Our friend Don Topley argues that, doesn't he? Keen 100 supporter Don Topley. 6, 7 matches, yes, before the New Zealand series. And yeah, and so that's kind of why I said that you can't just blame it on that. You know, those dodgy techniques. I mean, unorthodox techniques of Dom Sibley and Rory Burns, which Nasser Hussain talked about so passionately and eloquently as he does on Sky, which brackets, why isn't he at the 2 test matches, close bracket. But yeah, so I mean that they are a product of years of school. I think Rory Burns went to City of Freeman's in Surrey and Cardiff University, and only he can explain to us, or his coaches can only explain to us, why he has a technique like he does. He had a good series against New Zealand. It's not a personal axe to grind against Rory Burns, but yeah, there's a batch of 5 or 6 players who are averaging about 30 and miles behind Joe Root, and there are various causes as to why that's the case. And it's not just about the fact there isn't enough red ball cricket in high summer, but you know, it's eventually going to catch up with you, isn't it? Not having championship red ball cricket to prepare for every series. You know, you can't have people like sort of Don saying, well, we had it for the New Zealand series, it didn't make any difference then. But eventually changes in scheduling, you know, over a long period are definitely going to cause problems, aren't they? And I think we're neglecting Test cricket. We struggled on the first 3 days against India. We looked outclassed, if I'm honest. We were outclassed by New Zealand. We lost in India, and there's problems with Test cricket. And I think it's a great shame because it's still a great money spinner. The tests still generally sell out, although I see the first Test at Lord's isn't sold out, but a lot of people are saying the tickets cost too much.
£150 for a mid-market ticket.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to have to they're going to have to look at that, aren't they, if they want to continue to have sellouts and so on. But yeah, I think we need at least a month of red ball cricket leading up to the major Test series and all Test series in this country. And I just think it's unacceptable, really, this just glut of Blast and 100 cricket. And people will say, well, lots of people probably will say we don't need both. And some people say stick with the 100, and some people say stick with the Blast. I personally say stick with counties. Let's have an 8-team Super League and a 10-team second division. And if you want to jazz it up the BBC, then do what Warwickshire did by calling themselves Birmingham, and let Sussex call themselves Brighton and so on. But I didn't see the need for the 100. there we go. Lots of people like it, don't they? Kids and casual fans. But
Drunks.
yeah, well, yeah, young lads like getting drunk at the cricket, don't they? They did it at the Blast, they did it at the 100. I read somewhere yesterday that it could be because you got your double headers now and you've got longer time, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they haven't captured that young audience that they want yet, have they? The coffee drinkers that were at the 2017 Women's World Cup. Some of the attendances at the women's matches have been nice, haven't they, with young families and young girls watching avidly. But yeah, it's just time for red ball cricket to reclaim their land a bit. And Fabian Cowdrey did a Twitter poll. Over 700 people responded, and 87% said that red ball cricket is their priority. And what are they doing to us? They're taking it from us. They're force feeding us pure white ball cricket. I think it's just reaching a tipping point, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the ECB would probably defend themselves by saying that in 2019 we had the 50 over World Cup as being the priority, and this year there's a 20 over World Cup, and that's a priority. But what I would suggest is that in both those years there have been Ashes series, and to me and to any cricket fan, the Ashes is the absolute pinnacle of English cricket, and no consideration seems to be made to the Ashes compared to winning white ball World Cups.
Yeah, it was crammed into August, wasn't it, in 2019 after the World Cup. That was a great summer. I mean, touring sides don't want to come and play test matches every fortnight now, do they? They do want this congested schedule. I can't remember actually whether there was there would have been Championship cricket before the Ashes, wouldn't there, in 2019? I need to look at the schedule again. But yeah, prepare to fail to prepare, prepare to fail, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
It just seems a no-brainer to me. It really does. I just yeah, for me, Test cricket is still the pinnacle. I think for a lot of people, it's still the pinnacle. Ashes, yeah, for me as well. I mean, you've got a new wave of cricket journalists now, younger ones, some of them who don't feel that way. I've seen articles the last few days that the Ashes isn't the be-all and end-all. And I saw Tim Wigmore of the Telegraph tweeting that some of the 100 coaches are disappointed that they're losing players to Test cricket. I mean,
yeah, I saw that. Wow.
I can't get out of that. That makes me rather angry, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, but a Test series against India at home. I mean,
yeah,
they must know what they're tweeting when they say things like that. They must know it gets the goat up of.
Well, yeah, that's an unfortunate thing of the age we live in, that people, and you and I very well know people that should know better, that put stuff out on Twitter just to kind of get the clickbait.
I liked him. I think he's a really good journalist. But that tweet, you have to say, it's got to be antagonistic, isn't it? I think most people are going to say, who cares what the 100 coaches? It's just contrived tournament. I don't know.
Well, let me feed your your displeasure. Kevin Peterson, has been in the press this week, and he said that he doesn't think county cricket's good enough. There's too many average players. It doesn't prepare people for the stresses and strains of Test match cricket, because playing county cricket, you're just up against a load of old trundlers. And he suggested an overhaul of the county system. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, lots of thoughts on it. He cites that triple 100 against Leicestershire, doesn't he, when he was trying to get back in the England team. I do think they should stick to two divisions and just abandon the conference thing. I think two divisions came in 2000 after the underachieving 1990s and the even more chronically underachieving 1980s. And the England Test teams in the last 2 decades has improved. And I know it's not perfect two divisions. I know it does maroon counties at the bottom of Division 2, but I think it has increased competitiveness. So that's one thought. We can find some common ground, KP and I, on that one. In terms of, you need to keep the competitiveness of it going and have a sort of 8-team elite league. I mean, they're even changing it to 10-team top division, aren't they? Which, that's just a fudge, isn't it? But anyway, I just generally think KP has zero respect for tradition and the English county system, and it doesn't, whether he minds or not, but it upsets thousands of fans. And he also should remember that he used that system to make his fame and fortune. I used to speak to him a lot when he was at Nottinghamshire, serving his apprenticeship, as it were, or his qualification period for England. And it was good enough for him then, wasn't it? And playing under the coach Clive Rice, and he used that system to get into the England team and never look back. So,
yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? How do you think about looking around the world? We're playing India today. The Indian red ball system is very, very different. And if you look at members of this Indian team, they don't appear to play that much other than playing for India. Do you think the ECB are looking at that and thinking, well, this is the way that we go with our team?
Probably look to try and get away with it, as you say. Try and have the 100 and have the blast, and not. Yeah, those techniques of those Indian top six are watertight, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're fabulous. Yeah. And they're terrific players, but techniques of those Indian top six are watertight and impressive, aren't they? But and they've got a huge player pool, haven't they? So, but yeah, I'd like to see that extends to India and other countries as well. Let's not neglect red ball cricket. Yeah, definitely.
I'm just very curious on this subject because I'll give you an example. The tiny Caribbean island of Barbados, 21 miles long, 14 miles wide. And their red ball system is unchanged over 70 or 80 years. And it's essentially a club cricket system. I've been there many times and gone to watch clubs like Maple, etc., playing on very average pitches. And it's hardly any different to going and watching a village club over here. But, and I don't need to tell you of all people, Barbados, over God knows how many years, have consistently developed these absolute worldy talents. And it's just mystified me about how they can do that, given their resources. And it makes me wonder whether the English system is too complicated, is too, if you want to have a career in club, in professional cricket, let alone international cricket, you've got to jump through so many hoops of development and...
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, we've talked about that in the past, and about not fast tracking players like Pakistan do, sort of getting 17-year-olds. If you're old enough, you're good enough, kind of thing. I think there might be something in that. You can get ground down by years and years of the system, can't you? And you can get impatient, and there are other temptations and so forth. Yeah, in a way, it was lucky that Peterson didn't get ground down by 4 years of playing for Nottinghamshire. In a way, I suppose. He kept going, and you have to admire his sort of resilience in that regard. But yeah, no. Well, I bow to your knowledge of Barbadian pitches, but they play 10 matches at Shell Shield, don't they?
Yeah.
Probably not Red Stripe, whatever. 6 states playing five other states home and away, 10 first class matches, and KP says we should do that, but that doesn't factor in the English weather, does it? And it doesn't factor in green pitches and so on. So I think you need at least 12. We've got 14 at the moment, I think, and I'd stick with 14, but I think you need at least 12, don't you?
I like this idea as well that you put forward about an FA Cup style competition. I think that is the sort of thing that could really reinvigorate the whole thing without hindering too much.
Don't claim it's my original idea, but no, I think that'd be good, yeah. And I was thinking that, and people say, well, Ben Stokes might only play 150 over game per summer for Durham or whatever, but you could have a League Cup, I thought, as well, with the 18 counties, or you could even have a plate competition for those knocked out of the FA Cup. So there are kind of clever ways of doing it, I think.
Yeah, but as you say, the vagaries of the English weather and the shortness, this year being a fantastic example of the alleged English summer. In a good year, May till sort of mid-September is the best we can hope for. But, all you need is a few weeks of prolonged rain or...
Definitely. We had snow in April, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. And then all of a sudden, all the best laid plans are thrown aside. Listen, just to sort of round this off then. So what are your thoughts for India? What are your thoughts for the Ashes? I only want to talk about red ball cricket.
England need to vastly improve to survive in this series, otherwise they're going to sink. And now they're without Broad and Anderson. I'd be interested to see how Ollie Robinson and Craig Overton go today if Craig Overton plays. I hope he does. I think he deserves it. You can't be in those squads all the time and then suddenly see somebody like Saqib Mahmood come in and replace him. It's going to be harsh. It's like Jack Leach playing all those games and then, suddenly never getting a game. I don't know what they're playing at really. So anyway, we'll see that. Be interesting to see how that modified attack will cope today. Obviously, we'll be hoping that Mark Wood stays fit. We need him for the Ashes. I think it's going to be a really tough series, though. We need Johnny Bairstow to come to the party and make a big score, or someone, Rory Burns, someone. The Ashes, I don't think it'll be on. I've got a feeling it'll be on. I think they'll postpone it for a year. I can't see the Australian government making exemptions and allowing families to come over, but I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. It just doesn't seem the same when you don't have the Barmy Army there and England fans, and they're now talking about having no families over there. I think there'll be too many concessions, to be honest. But if we do play, I think it's going to be tough again, yeah, against that fantastic attack. Cummings and Hazelwood, etc. Yeah.
I kind of agree with you. Huw, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to let you crack on, but we'll catch up soon.
Thank you, Darren. Great to talk to you.